weightless enigma. I have no weight, but you can see me, and if you put me in a water bottle, it'll become a lot lighter. What am I? Right you are! I'm a hole. It lasts for a day and stands in the middle. It also has a name. What is it? It's Wednesday, of course. The sailor and the cloth. A sailor has a piece of fabric that's 16 feet long. He cuts 2 feet of this fabric per day. How many days will it take him to cut the whole cloth? You thinking 8 days? Sorry, but that's not right. The sailor will only need 7 days. The last remaining piece will be 2 feet long, so he won't need to cut it. Left or right hand? According to the rules of etiquette, which hand should you use to stir sugar in your cup of tea? Well, if you want to follow etiquette rules, you better stir your tea with a spoon and not your hand. A weird coat. What kind of coat can you put on only when it's wet? You have 10 seconds to figure out the answer to this puzzle. The answer is a coat of paint. Ah, clever. Jailhouse art. A prison holds art class for prisoners every Monday. Guards escort participants to the class and search them at the end of each lesson. Today, however, these prisoners are going to hold on to their art supplies and keep them inside their cell. But the question is, which of them now has a chance to escape prison? Your 10 seconds start now. Time's up. And the answer is the prisoner in the top left corner. He can use his green paint to turn his clothes green and pass as a guard. Transfer the water. You have a plate full of water, an empty glass, a box of matches, and a cork. How can you transfer the water to the glass without touching the plate? Your 10 seconds are ticking, MacGyver. You need to place the cork in the middle of the plate, put one match on top of it, and light the match. After that, you cover all that with the glass. Once the match burns out, the water will start to gather inside the glass. Show this magic trick to your friends. They'll love it. Why did he die? Hannah doesn't like her husband, yet she kindly cooks a meal for him every day. One day, the woman prepares a nice steak dinner for both of them. She cuts the meat in half and each of them gets a piece. After her husband eats his portion, he goes blue and suddenly dies. But Hannah is totally fine. How did she manage to survive if her husband died from poisoning? As you may have guessed, this wasn't an accidental food poisoning. Hannah put poison on one side of the knife so that only the piece she gave to her husband was poisoned. Hidden treasure. Martha really loves her little sister Marie, but one day Martha had to go away for the whole day. She didn't want Marie to miss her too much or get bored, so she organized a treasure hunt for the girl in advance. Before Martha left, she gave her little sister a map and told her that if she followed the instruction, she'd find a real treasure. Marie followed the map to a T. She made the exact number of steps and turned at all the right spots. She eventually got to the end and started digging. The little girl dug and dug, but found nothing. Naturally, she was pretty upset. When Martha got back, she took the map and almost immediately found the treasure. How so? Hopefully 10 seconds will be enough for you to crack this mystery. Martha made one major mistake when she was drawing the map. Her steps were a lot bigger than Marie's. That's why the younger girl couldn't find the spot where Martha had hidden the treasure. A paradox. What can be forever wound up but never gets annoyed? You have 10 seconds to identify this mysterious something that seems to have nerves of steel. It's a jack-in-the-box. Who's lying? Lisa woke up in the morning to find a large sum of money missing from her purse. Her husband was on a business trip, so the only person that could have taken the money was one of her 3 kids: her 17-year-old son Chris, her 15-year-old daughter Karen, or her youngest child David, who was 13. She asked her kids what they had been doing the night before. Chris said that he was at the club with his friend Rick. Karen said that she'd gone to bed right after dinner because she had a headache. And David explained that he'd gone to the arcade with his baseball team after practice. Lisa knew immediately who took the money. Can you crack this puzzle in just 10 seconds? Chris was lying. He was only 17 years old and couldn't get into any clubs. No affirmative answer. What's the question you will never ever answer yes to? As for me, there's a whole bunch of them. The question is, are you asleep? A security guard. What does a security guard do when a bird sits on their head? Probably shoos it away, right? Well, I'll let you decide this one. If a bird is just sitting on a security guard's head, then this person is most likely sleeping. A bird on a branch. A blue jay is perched peacefully on a tree branch. Aw, how cute! But you still need to cut this branch down. How can you do this without bothering the bird? Just wait till it flies away, that's all. Which tank will get full first? A faucet runs over 12 tanks. Some of them have one tube leading to another tank, while others have 2. Can you figure out which of these tanks will fill up first? The correct answer is Tank F. The water coming from Tank L can only go there since Tube H is blocked. Which car? 7 cars are stuck in an intersection during rush hour. Everybody is hurrying to work, but unfortunately, there's now a bad traffic jam on one of the busiest roads in the city. However, if only one car was removed from the picture, the rest of them would be free to go on their way. You have 10 seconds to figure out which car is preventing the others from going any further. And the correct answer is car number 3. Try removing it from the image and you'll see that the rest of the cars will be able to proceed without any problems. Empty-handed. What can you fill if your hands are empty? Well, this question is downright confusing. How can I fill anything if it's not in my hands? Good luck figuring this one out. No, it's gloves! How to get the animals across safely. A man is traveling with his 2 sheep and a wolf. Interesting pets to have. The wolf would gladly attack the sheep if the man decided to leave it alone with them for even a moment. At some point, the man reaches a river that he needs to cross. He finds a boat nearby, but unfortunately, he can only take one of his animals at a time. How on earth can he get all the animals across safely without leaving any of his sheep alone with the wolf? Your time starts now. First, the man should take the wolf across. After that, he needs to return to pick up the first sheep. When he reaches the side where the wolf is, he should leave the sheep and take the wolf back with him. Then the man should leave the wolf on the initial side and take the second sheep across. The last thing to do is to return to pick up the wolf. And voila!